do you know what? For me, it's not take things too seriously.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm a very serious person about life. Like, I can have fun. This one brings out.
She does have.
She brings
fun.
out the fun side.
I've got a thing where I call her Noddy Fierce. You know, like Sasha Fierce. You're so going to cut this out, actually. But Noddy Fierce is so funny.
I like drunk me. Honestly, like, love her. Don't really remember half the stuff she does.
But she's very dignified and has so much decorum. Like, she's the most regal, you know, turn up person I've ever seen. Like, she really is.
Yeah, except when I'm falling over.
Oh, but we both.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Maybe that's another video.
That is drunken nights out. What was I going to say? Yeah, not taking things too seriously, because I think when you're with somebody like Mr. Man, you can't, because like not that he doesn't take anything seriously, he does, otherwise it wouldn't work, but he has that kind of sense of humour, and he's always looking for a reaction from me, and I think I saw that as being very like he was looking for an argument, but I think he was just trying to get a reaction because he knew he could. So just being like learning to laugh and just like go into a situation without overthinking it and just enjoying the now. Just not taking anything too seriously. Yeah. Really. Yeah. What about you?
Okay.
I feel that's a really rubbish one.
This is going to be quite controversial. But I would say, and it's something my mum taught me actually, and I remember when I was younger and she said it to me, I was like, what? No. And it was advice that she said, like in a relationship, sometimes you need to let a man be a man. Which
my mum always says that.
Yeah, and at the time I was like, I'm independent. If he gets harder than me, then he just needs to like check himself. No, but like, and it's only when I got into like a really serious relationship with Lenny that I understood what she meant by that. And it's not about being like submissive and being like a downtrodden woman or anything like that. Because you know, like we said, our guys are like laid back. Yeah. You know, they're not like, you know, like some sort of, you know,
dominators or
anything.
Yeah.
But one of the things she just said is like sometimes it's just good to just like fall back and let them lead. So like know when to fall back. No, basically it's about picking your battles, right? And it's like sometimes just let a guy be a guy. Sometimes they'll want to do things that you just don't understand. Like, and we're just not meant to. And we may not even get it or agree with it, but it's just something that they want to do, you know. And it sounds very like cliche, but they tend to be quite typical man type things, you know. And sometimes I just, you know, I will let, you know, like I say let as if I could do them. But anyway, it's just like it can be physical stuff. It can be about like making certain decisions. I'll give you an example. So when Lynn and I were getting married, the day that we booked our wedding, it ended up being double booked, which I was like, oh God, no, I can't imagine that. And you know, like the vicar and everything, he was like, oh, it's fine, you know, we can have 2 weddings on the same day. That's absolutely fine. Okay. But in my mind, I was like, no, it's not fine. And it sounds really bad, but I wanted to find out about who the bride was, because I was like, well, what if she's late? And then my day's going to be late, and then you know, the guests are going to be waiting outside for the other wedding to kind of finish, and it's overrun and all of this craziness. And so in my mind, I was like to Lenny, I was like, no, we have to move churches. We have to find a new church. We're going to look for another church. We're going to look for the church that I got, you know, christened in or something like that. Yeah. And then he just said to me, he was just like, babe, I feel we need to get married in that church. And I was just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So, which church did you get married in then? That church.
Yeah, and in the end, I don't know what happened to that other wedding. But I don't know. I actually don't know what happened to that other wedding. But they...
were they supposed to be before yours?
They were supposed to be before us. So that was the thing that was like... and it was like an hour and a half or something.
Okay.
So I was like concerned. We... You know, because Lenny felt really strongly about getting married in that church, I was just like, okay, fine, I just have to just go with it, you know. It's both our days, not just mine.
and I think that's the good thing. It's like when you are with someone who's so laid back, I think whenever they express a real opinion about something, you've got to listen. You just got to. Because you know how strongly they feel about it. Yeah. That's exactly, and that's exactly it. It's like,
yeah, if they're saying something, then it's like, okay, you really need to just fall back.
That's interesting, because my mum gave me pretty much the same advice, but she was like, let a man be a man, but as a woman, there are ways to make a man come to the kind of decision that you might want. So she was always like, this is getting really tactical. She's like, if you want to get a man to do something for you, it's very easy. Basically what you do is you present him with all the options that would favour what you really want to happen, and make them choose, and make it seem like they're making the decision for themselves.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That is actually...
So I really hope the boys don't watch this, because now we're giving away our secrets. But what have you learned in your 3 years of marriage that you think is like a game changer for you?
Oh wow, pressure, game changer. Well, that kind of first one I think is quite important. I think that's important in relationships and in marriage in particular. It sounds so obvious, but just talk about stuff. Like, don't carry things on your shoulders and not share. Like, you know, they're your spouse. They should be able to kind of like listen and kind of take in what you're saying. You might find that actually their perspective on something is completely different to how you were thinking about it. So even just using them as a soundboard is really good as well. And then just take joint decisions about certain things as well. I would say that if you're going to make a big decision that affects both of you, like really talk about it together. Again, sounds quite obvious, but I think sometimes those sorts of things that kind of cause tension in relationships. If like, I don't know, you want to kind of buy something that's particularly expensive and is going to have an impact on like the household income, that's the sort of thing that you need to kind of really talk about. And it's, I think also with like marriage, I think sometimes people put pressure on it because they have certain expectation as to what it's going to do for your relationship. I think if you're going into marriage thinking that it's going to fix or enhance or create something in a relationship, I think that's sometimes when you see that they and obviously, you know, we're only like 3 years in, you know, I'm not talking like some expert, but like,
you made it. Someone.
But like, I think sometimes if you have this expectation that it's going to be like this thing that just revolutionises your relationship, then you're probably setting yourself up for a fall. So be realistic about it. I think if you're entering into a marriage and there are major, like not major issues, but even teething problems, or you're thinking, oh, but this will be fine when we're married, I think probably deal with that before you can get to that stage, because it's not going to fix anything. Like, it doesn't fix anything. And
somebody once said to me that small problems that you have in your relationship can actually be magnified in marriage. So if it bothers you now, it's really going to bother you then.
Because I think also people sometimes go into a marriage and think, okay, this person's going to be a certain like way, they're going to change a certain thing, or like you say, if it's something that was niggling you before, then it becomes bigger. And I think the reason it probably becomes bigger is not because they've become worse doing it, it's because your expectation that they should have fixed it, because now you're in a marriage and it doesn't materialise, that's usually I think why it then feels like it's a massive thing.
I agree. So, I also think oh my god, I've totally forgotten what I was going to say. I also think nothing. I think also asking your other half what their view on marriage is really... God, that's so important. It's like, hello! Like yesterday, it was the first time... We're engaged, it's really late in the game, but it was the first time I asked Mr. Man, like, what is marriage for you? Like, what does it represent? I mean, sure, you would think I know this already. But
you're right, that's a good question.
And his answer blew me away. Like, I gave my answer thinking, I said, for me, what did I say? Oh, it was so unremarkable. I basically said something along the lines of committing to somebody and just like, you know, just, oh God, I can't remember what I said. I'll tell you what he said because it was better. So he said that, like, whatever happens, arguments, fights, anything, as long as we're both holding hands, which I guess, I don't know if he meant this, but figuratively it just means that you just stand side by side in everything that you do. Yeah, pretty much, like you're a team. Like, it was lovely. And then I don't remember what I said because it wasn't as good as that at all. And I was like, let me rethink my answer and come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back tomorrow with something better. But I think why I was so nervous about marriage, because I kind of had this idea in my head for some reason that when you go into marriage, everything has to be perfect in your relationship, and that once you get to a point where you want to marry each other, you should have resolved any problems you have. You need to have perfect communication. Everything just needs to be on point, and that is why I was quite scared.
Yeah.
Or have definitely been like throughout most of my engagement. I've just been like, oh my god, but we're not the perfect couple yet.
Yeah.
But actually, we've kind of gone through a lot of things that I guess married couples would do, as far as like living together and making lots of big life decisions together.
Yeah.
And we've survived. So I think marriage is just an extension of a good relationship.
Yeah.
Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
But you just, when you're married, you're just, I guess, the motivation to work through things is just there more, and you feel like you're doing it with someone rather than trying to bring somebody around to your way of doing it. Yeah. Which is what I'd tend to do.
But I think you're so right. I think, you know, going in thinking that, I think that's the thing, it's either going in thinking, oh gosh, it's not right because we should be in a perfect relationship. There is no perfect relationship, so you'd be waiting forever for that to happen. But also, or having the expectation that marriage is going to fix major things that you have a problem with, that you know that you can't live with indefinitely. I mean, obviously every relationship has like issues, right? Nobody has perfect relationships. So as long as you know that those things are not going to be deal breakers for you, like it's not something that has to change, otherwise the relationship can't continue, then you're in a good place, really.
Which is why I think that pre-marriage counselling is so important.
Oh, it's so good.
I wish we could get that like all the time. Now, like, and like, I just think there are so many things you don't realise about marriage until right before you're getting married. Yeah. Which I sometimes think for some couples is too late. Yeah. Like,
and I also think what's good, like, so when we got married, the church, we had like a marriage preparation course that we did, and you did it with other couples, and it was actually just really refreshing to kind of meet other couples who are about to make the same commitment that you guys are, and just to hear other people's perspectives as well, because it just makes you realise that, you know, everyone is kind of in the same sort of situation. Everyone's human. Everyone's just trying to make the best of you know, their relationship, and it's always going to be that, you know. And I think as long as you are both all in, I think that's the crucial thing. Is as long as you both are all in, then everything else is like, you know, that it can be worked on.
Yeah. Oh, another question I have, which a lot of people have, I think, is how do you know that when you're with somebody that they are the person you should marry, or you should spend the rest of your life with in any way, shape or form?
That's a really good question. I think if you can visualise, it sounds very obvious, but if you can visualise yourself with that person in the future, like if you can think about like you guys having kids together, and you can think about, you know, or if you already have kids, you know, you can think about like literally growing old with them and them always being in your life. That's a good starting point, I would say. Like, I think if you can see them as being in your life all the time, it's a good place to start. And you both have to want it, really. I think if if you're both not in it, like, then there's just not really any point.
It's bizarre about to find.
Yeah, it sounds very obvious, but I think you both have to be in it. You both have to want it to work. And then
that's a good one, actually, because I always say, I've always like felt like I've never been in a relationship where I like to imagine. If you've been in other relationships, but you're in a relationship where you really would like to see the person as your husband or as a father, or you really like curious to see how they interact with your friends and your family, and like you're looking forward to those things. Like I with Mr. Man, sometimes I think, I would love to see him like as a dad, because I feel like he'd be a better parent than me, to be honest. But like, you know, you kind of think about things like that, or you think about like you think about your parents, or you think about like, I'd love to have what they have, or just like little things like that.
Absolutely.
That it kind of makes you realise that you're definitely seeing a future with the person. But yeah, how do you know? I think I hate to say it, but I feel like you just know.
You do, yeah.
It's
it's
a bit of a cop out, but you do. Like,
yeah.
In the same way, like when you question someone so much, not to say that there's no questioning when you found the one, as it were, but if you have doubts about somebody, that tells you everything that you need to know. And not that things can't be worked out, but if those doubts are like things that go against what you believe in majorly, then
definitely.
you just, that should tell you everything that you need to know, I think.
I think, I keep saying it sounds obvious, but like, I think as well, like, having the same values as that person is so important, like wanting the same things out of life, because I think often that's when relationships break down, is that you haven't maybe had the conversation about, maybe you want kids and that person doesn't want kids, for example, or maybe you want to go and travel and that person wants to stay, you know, where you guys kind of met, or, you know, maybe you're super ambitious and that person isn't. And I think having those sorts of, like, you know, how you see the world. I mean, and I'm not saying that you're going to have to be you know, exactly the same as that person.
No.
You know, me and Lenny are very different people, but we have the same sort of values about things. We want the same sort of things out of life, but we're very different.
Which is good, because I think you need that balance. Like, I feel like you bring out the best in each other if you are a bit different. Otherwise, it's just like
dating yourself. Really,
yeah, pretty much. It's just exciting, great as that sounds. Probably in practice, not so much. I think in this day and age, there's like a lot of. I hear a lot of talk. I watch a lot of like videos on YouTube as well. I hear a lot of talk about, can this generation really get with the whole idea of marriage? Because
so much choice,
and it seems a lot of everybody's replaceable almost. Simple swipe left or swipe right, and you could be on to the next one basically. But I think it has messed with my mind, and not messed with my mind, but like you kind of do, like it starts to make you question, like, can we really do marriage in the way that our parents did it? But I think my view is that no, it won't be in the same way that our parents did it, but I think marriage really is about companionship, and regardless of how independent or how much you might love your own company, I think everybody, most people anyway, to some extent, want some form of companionship. Yeah. So even if it's not in the traditional, like, marriage sense, go to a church or, you know, sign the papers and legally bind it together, like, I think, like, I think it's just a message to kind of say, don't feel like marriage is the be all and end all.
Yeah, absolutely, it's not. And the thing is, marriage isn't for everyone. You've got, you know, people in relationships who've been in long-term committed relationships and are absolutely committed and don't need marriage to kind of to say that, and you know, and that's perfectly, you know, that works for them. So it's not us saying, oh yes, you need to get married and find yourself a husband. No, it's not even like that. It's just I mean, I think you're right. I think obviously there is so much out there at the moment in terms of, you know, whether it's Tinder or Bumble or whatever, all those apps. But I think ultimately it's a human instinct to eventually want to have a companion. Yeah. And in whatever form that comes in, you know, I think there's just a human instinct that eventually, you know, even if you want to play the field, you know, for however long, I think we all eventually come to a point where we're like, kind of, you know, because I mean, you know, I've got friends, and Lenny's got friends that are single now, and they're still single, and they go, oh, I don't want to be with anyone at all, and I just kind of think, I feel like, and you know, and it's not about people not feeling fulfilled, because yes, there are people who are, you know, it's not about you not feeling fulfilled as people or whatever, because they're doing their thing, they are doing their thing, but at the same time, I feel like there's some sort of human instinct eventually that makes you just think, it would be nice to just
share this with someone. Yeah. Because I think some of the things that make me really happy in life is talking about happy things with other people. I'm really trying to find a more eloquent way to put that together. But like, when I'm happy, but sometimes I just really want to like spread that, or I just want to like share it with someone, or pick up the phone and talk to somebody about it. Or like just have a conversation. And I feel like there are, like, don't get me wrong, we've had our fair share of nights out and we really enjoyed the single life, but at the same time, like, you're going to get bored of certain things. You're going to get bored of going out, maybe you won't, but you'll get bored of doing the same things, and sometimes it's just having somebody to have a chat with, or just be completely yourself around.
Yeah, I think that's it as well.
Yeah.
Being your complete self, like, as in, and that person taking you warts and all, I think is really cool. Like, you can literally just, you know, Lenny's seen all sides of me. Like, you know, everything.
I was actually just saying this the other day, like, do you think that you are who do you think sees the truest version of yourself? Would it be your family and friends, or would it be your other half?
I would say Lenny and you, and my sister, and my mum and dad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would kind of put you all in the same category, really.
Yeah.
Because with him, he sees, like, good, bad, and ugly.
Bless him.
Yeah, you know. So I don't think I would say I, like, adjust. Anything for him, you know. It's he gets it all.
I see. I was like, I thought the same, but then I was actually like, when I really thought about it the other day, I was like, actually, your spouse probably sees the realist current version of you. Like, your emotional side, you know,
that's true.
Your sexual side, you know, your just like your friendship side, like your best self. Yeah. Could be. They just, I think, like I said, that I think Sem knows the me that I would like to be. I think I'm like you with you as well, but then he sees the other, you know, the like intimate Noddy that nobody sees. Oh God, he's killing me. But you're basically, like, your spouse knows, like, every bit of you pretty much. So it makes sense to pick a decent person to share that with. Like, that's
another good point as well. It's like, if you're having to adjust yourself to be with that person, there's only so long you can do that for.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that person, like, maybe you feel that person is slightly, like, up here, and that you need to step your game up to, like, meet them there. I mean, that's great with, like, practical stuff. But if it comes to, like, you as a person, there's only so much you can do that for.
Yeah.
And only so long that you can kind of do that for, before you just can't, and it becomes too much. So, taking someone, like, being with someone that can take you warts and all, is
important. I think it's hard out there right now, but I think it's always been hard.
It's always
been hard.
It's always been something. I mean, for us, it's like Tinder and Choice and stuff. For other people, it was like, you know, back in the day, you know, spouses going off to war and stuff like that. You know, there's always been a generational challenge, I would say, that kind of affects how, you know, the nature of relationships and the dynamics of relationships that are a challenge. And I just think, we get through.
You just adjust to the times, and you just make it work, really. Like, people who are married are just like you. Like, they haven't elevated to some holier than thou status where they now feel like they can, like, you know, but they're just you, but they're just doing it with somebody else, hopefully. Which is why I think it's such a beautiful thing. Like, I think in the year or two that it's taken me to get married, and I'm still not yet. Technically I feel it. I've learned so much about marriage, and I'm actually glad that I waited, or that we took our time with it, because you just, it's not something that you should rush into.
You shouldn't rush in, and don't get so het up on the day itself. Like, the day is like, it can be stressful, and you get so bogged down into the detail, and you will, and it's natural, and like, in the run up to it, you do kind of go, you just worry about different things coming together. And it's funny, this is something I actually learned from my sister, because on her wedding day, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but I'm sorry, I have to for context. So, like, on her wedding day, like, the cars for the bridesmaids didn't turn up, and I was like, I was like maid of honour, and I was quite stressed about it. So I was like, oh gosh, who do we call? Like, what's going on? And then, like, my sister, bless her, she's not a cool cucumber, I would say, in terms of personality. She's not. But she was really chill. Yeah. And I was like, why am I the one that's like that? And she was chill, and it's her wedding day. Yeah. And she was like to me, she was like, do you know what? As long as we get married, that's all. Like, as long as we get married,
Yeah.
then everything else is cool. And as long as we get there and we get married. And I was like, I'm not seeing the side of my sister. But from when I remembered that on my wedding day when she said that, and then you realise that actually you want a marriage. It's not about the day. The day is nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's about the marriage, and actually
it's over like that.
It is over like that. So then it helps you on the day to just kind of stop stressing about the small stuff and actually just live in the moment, enjoy. There is an amazing euphoria like when you get married, like the day. Just I think it's more. It's to do with obviously marrying the person you want to marry, but it's also seeing all of your friends and family being so happy for you and all in one room. Like it's just the most. That's what's amazing as well. Yeah, but it's about it's beyond the day. As long as you get married on that day, everything else can just fall away. It's fine.
Absolutely.
And that's it, because you want the marriage, and so the day is it's a starting point, but it's a day.
This is so funny because every time you say something, I think of something else to say. This video's going to be like that. But if I were watching this video, I'd be like, okay, so you two are young.
Are we young?
You know,
are we still young?
Well, no, probably not. Not on here or not, but I think in the grand scheme of life, we're young.
Okay.
Because if let's say, and in God's name we will, live until we're about 90, 100,
okay,
we're young.
Yeah.
We're not even just about.
Not even a third of the way.
Exactly. As two young black women who are in relationships, married, like, I guess, do we have a message out there for our sisters, basically?
Sisters.
Yeah, because I think that's a whole different aspect to the dating game as well. Okay. I don't know.
I would say it's usually, I know everybody says this and it does sound very cliche, but it's like, often it's when you're not looking that you do find the person. Unfortunately, that is what happened. That's what's happened to both of us. We weren't looking at the time.
Yes.
And then, opportunities presented themselves.
Yes, indeed.
But also I would probably say, like, don't get stuck on what you think your type is. Like, don't be scared.
Diversify your portfolio!
Oh God. I was like, that would come out. Oh my God, it's actually got a word in.
It had to.
Girls. Don't forget this one. I'm not going to say that.
No, but it's important. I think you have to have an open mind.
Have an open mind. Yeah.
The world has changed.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that you need to move with the world or anything like that. Like, live life at your own pace, but be open to new experiences.
Different. And that can be in terms of race, so like explore, but it also can be in terms of like personality type. Because like I said, Lenny is a bit of a nerd. A blurred. And it wouldn't necessarily be what I would have thought that I'd be attracted to, but I was really attracted to. So be open-minded in terms of what you think your type is. Because you may find your lobster, as in, that lobsters like mate for life, and they stay together, and
Really?
Yeah, so that's why people say, like from Friends, and they say, oh
she's my lobster. I never really got it.
Yeah. So you might find your lobster and you just don't know what form they really take. And just be open to that. I think that's the problem. Sometimes you get quite focused on what you think your type is, and you have your checklist, and sometimes someone comes along and just basically rips up your checklist. And that's fine too. Yeah. It's about how they make you feel.
Absolutely.
As well. So
love knows no colour. Your parents might have something to say about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you come from
cackling.
No, I like it. No, don't worry. If you come from, like, let's say, a traditional African background, or Caribbean or any background where culturally it's preferred to keep the culture. Yeah. Whatever. Or for the person that you're with, like, to be from the same culture. Yeah, I can see the reasoning behind that, but actually, I think we've grown up in our own culture. Because we're, second generation Caribbeans, Africans. So, where we've grown up, anyone you've gone to school with, I feel like, shares the same culture as you. Like, you listen to the same music, you kind of read the same books, you went to the same places. Like, you have more in common with those people than you do with somebody who lives back home from where you're originally from, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think also, you know, even if you don't have the same culture, I think as long as that person's willing to appreciate your culture, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if they're from a different background but you both can explore each other's cultures, I think that's really nice as well. So yeah, I think it's funny that we talk about diversity. But yeah, I mean, we mean that in every sense of the word, not just in terms of race, but also, you know, personality type or, you know, all sorts of things maybe that you wouldn't have thought. But the person's presenting themselves to you, and you're like, maybe I could try.
Never say never.
Never say never.
I think that covers it, really. Thank you very much for
coming
on.
Me.
It's been a long time coming. Honestly, I should have had you on here sooner, but I want to hand the Barry splashing. Okay. Go. But it's been lovely having you here. Karen will be definitely, if she would like to, in a few more videos coming up. I think we've got some good bits there to cover. But if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below and ask questions. Let us know what you think. And yeah, I guess see you in our next video together.
Oh,
I'll see you in maybe another video after.
Maybe you'll look at the edits and be like, no, not too much of this.
No, I'm sure you guys have loved this. Absolutely loved this. Thank you to my amazing bestie for joining me.
My amazing bestie, she's literally the most, like, one of the most amazing people that I've met. I'm going to start getting emotional now. No, but genuinely, she is, like, as you see her in terms of how she presents herself, is how she is. She is literally one of the nicest people. No, I'm really not. But
no, you really are. Like, I think friends, and we'll cover friendship because like, you guys are probably going to get bored of us continuing this thing on. But I think having good friends in life is really important. And I think relationships aside, like if you've got a few good friends, or even one, like you don't have to have like 10, 15, 20. Like, your friend that you could call in the middle of the night who would come and get you if you're somewhere you're not supposed to be. Yeah, that sort of friend. That's a good friend. Yeah. Just loving. I love it. Alright, thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye. Bye. Oh, 2 hands.
I know, I'm just nervous because I never do really my intro with anyone else here, so I just feel a bit like, alright, just don't mind the
watch the X. Like I'm watching that.
Alright. Oh, what an anticlimax.
I know, building up to this big...
yeah. Alright.
So I'm just here on my own.
For a second. Okay.